hey there, welcome to the third part of the 400 Followers Ask Party. 4 asks remain, but there are multiple question asks, so let's see how long this one takes. Okay, that sounds way too negative. I actually like doing this. Let's continue, shall we? Sweat and Ink asks, do you have a preferred style of facial hair? How important is your own beard to you? Were you inspired by anybody in particular to grow your beard in the first place, or were you just too lazy to shave at one point? First of all, yes, that was basically how I came to grow the beard. There wasn't really a particular beard inspiration for me, though my shaving my mustache off was actually inspired by some of the famous bearded Tumblrites I follow going completely clean shaven, so I thought I might at least do this one. So sometimes I am inspired by what people do with their beards. How important it is. I would say it's relatively important to me, largely because I don't really like my face if it's completely beardless. Like, I can manage partially shaven, though the time I had shaved all this off and just left the ironic mustache, I was just really did it to get tabula rasa for the beard to grow back in cleanly. But yeah, I really don't like my face clean shaven, so it's important in that regard. And do I have a preferred style of facial hair? In general, I like trimmed full beards. When it becomes like a full beard that's growing long and bushy, that's a bit too much for me usually. And I mean, I can appreciate like partially bearded styles, but in general, full beard is good. Then the asks continue, are you feeling spring yet, and any particular plans for summer? Yeah, I've been feeling spring. Today we've been having sun and clouds wrestling for dominance. Right now the clouds are winning out, which is why I think you can actually see, yeah, as you can see, it's a bit darker, even though I did not close the shades or anything, but it's still darker than it was in the first week, I think, where it was really very sunny and my floor reflected it half in my eyes. So yeah, but I can see the green, I can see the sun, I can feel the spring. And any particular plans for summer? Not really. At some point I am supposed to play tour guide for Tommy and Baze and maybe Alex if he makes it down here, but apart from those like 3 days or so, not really yet. And third subgroup of asks, what is your own approach towards your gender identity? Do you reflect on your own cisgenderedness and you consciously avoid certain patterns or adopt strategies to break established patterns? I assume the last one also refers to the gender aspect, because there's like little asterisks. Why? The little asterisks to separate the other question complexes. So I'm gonna assume this refers to that too. Good question. I think isn't it like, you know, one of the aspects of things like privilegedness or privilegedness of privilege, and of being the unassigned majority, basically what's considered the norm, is that you don't really have to reflect on your identity. And I know for the most part that applies to me. I mean, I know I was assigned a guy and I feel like a guy. I know that I don't really ponder my own gender much, because it's just like, I don't know, I don't really feel non-guyish, I guess. I mean, it's there's interesting questions, and I'm sorry that I can't really give you a very interesting or deep answer or anything. Do I consciously avoid certain patterns? I mean, that is a thing, especially, and adopting strategies to break patterns. Those are things I do sometimes do. In general, not specifically related only to gender, but for example, also when it comes to most aspects where I'm in the privileged group or in the majority group, where even though I was raised in a relatively open, liberal, semi-conscious, that's a very good word, surroundings, of course I still have certain, thought patterns related to gender identity and race, etc., that I can still find myself thinking in. So do try to make it a part of my process as a human to break those, which largely consists of basically telling myself to sit down and shut up and stop being an idiot when I'm being an idiot. Which has helped me in the past to, when I was getting too caught up in problematic, to use that pretty word, thoughts. And at some point I just told myself, Bernie, you're being an idiot. Bernie, you're thinking fucked up thoughts. Stop it. Just, try to look over your own, über den Tellerrand gucken, huh? What's that in English? But you at least know what I mean. So yeah, I do try to, better myself when it comes to how I approach and perceive, but it's hasn't really made me consider my own labels that much, if that makes sense. So yeah, then on to the next questions. Anarama Paraiso, which I apologize for probably mispronouncing horribly, asks, do you usually have on and off? Actually, I usually don't. I just, put it in my little, put it in my little advertising blurb to, kind of make people send me asks. So, Anon is on. You don't have to show your face if you're chicken shit. Yeah. And is there anything you love as much as Alex loves purple? Nobody loves anything as much as Alex loves purple. It's how it is. There are things I love a lot. Mass Effect, Dragon Age, men, cats, dogs, food, not quite as much as Alex loves purple. And also, do you have pets? Yes, I still have one cat. I used to have two, but I had to have one of them put down last December. So now I still have one cat. Yeah. And tone falls at the end of a sentence, because it signifies that you finished speaking. Fading Roots asked, okay, it's because it's pretty much too late and I haven't come up with a good question yet, but I said I'd ask something. I'm gonna give you a terrible one. What are your 5 favorite classic rock songs? However you define classic rock, I guess. Yeah, I don't really know how I would define classic rock. Is I Would Do Anything for Love still classic rock, or is that like early 90s power ballad rock? Is that a separate thing? I mean, my musical influences growing up were very much classical music and like 80s European disco, or 70s and 80s European disco, because in Europe disco never died. So I didn't really grow up rooted very much in rock, and what rock I do listen to is much more of the indie persuasion, which I know, but it's at least it's like German indie rock and Norwegian indie rock and punk, and not, Scandinavian metal, so at least there's that. And from, like, I don't know, I mean, I could probably, like, name a few Rolling Stones songs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're my favorites. And with other rock bands, I know they exist, but I couldn't really, name classic rock songs, and I'm afraid that 80s lady power ballads don't quite fit. I mean, does Gloria still count as classic rock? Probably not. So, but that would be a song I like. Yeah, I'm, for as much as I try to, exude an aura of punk credibility, it's really the kind of I'm so punk I don't need to be punk thing. And now, last but not least, and I really did actually on purpose push these questions to the end, because Altenem asked me some questions in German, which means I will answer in German, and so that other people watching this video who don't speak German don't have to deal with like random German segment. Here it is, at 7 questions in German. Wie geht's dir? Geht, passt, muss halt. Wie findest du Norddeutschland? Ja, ich war zweimal in meinem Leben in Norddeutschland. Einmal Klassenfahrt nach Föhr und einmal Klassenfahrt nach Berlin. Ja, und Berlin, gut, es ist zwar im Norden, aber es ist dann ja eher, es ist zumindest nicht ein Norden, das. Ich kann Deutsch. Deutsch ist meine Muttersprache. Ja, Berlin ist ja kein Norddeutschland, was am Meer ist, also es ist ja so fast schon Mittel. Ich bin jetzt, also landschaftsmäßig bin ich halt ein Kind von Süden. Ich bin, also im Sinne vom südlichen deutschsprachigen Raum. Ich mag es nicht, wenn ich das Meer sehen kann. Das ist mir irgendwie suspekt. Ewig, total flache Landschaft. am Land, gut, Land würde ich auch hier jetzt nicht so toll finden. Ich brauche meine Häuser, die mir den Horizont verbauen. Und das ist natürlich schon auf die nächste Frage bezogen, die im Norden sprechen komisch. Siehst so. Und ich mag's nicht. Frage 3. Brötchen. Frage 4. Soll ich auch eine Ask-Party machen? Ja. Vor allem, nachdem du mich jetzt gemobbt hast, dass ich diese Videos aufnehme, musst du auch eine Ask-Party machen. So ist es. Junge. Frage 5. Warum lieben deutsche Kohlensäure so sehr? Gute Frage. Wahrscheinlich liegt es daran, dass wir in Deutschland einfach so eine gute Wasserqualität haben, dass man Wasser, das man verkaufen möchte, ich kann nicht mehr Deutsch, das ist fürchterlich. Wenn seien es Supermärkte oder seien es Restaurants, wenn die Wasser verkaufen wollen, dann müssen sie halt irgendwas zusätzlich anbieten, um das legitimes Produkt anzubieten. Und da ist halt Wasser mit Sprudel eine mögliche Alternative. Wäre es meine Theorie, die ich jetzt spontan aufgestellt habe. Frage 6. Wenn ich eine Ask-Party mache, soll ich einen ganzen deutschsprachigen Teil machen? Ja, solltest du. Du hast genügend deutschsprachige Follower, die dir deutsche Fragen senden können. Also ja. Und wenn ich für 20 Minuten Englisch reden kann, dann kannst du auch für 10 Minuten Deutsch reden. Zumindest einmal in der Woche. Dann können wir dich zum Deutschsprechen animieren. Und 7, nicht eine Frage, aber meine Grammatik ist ganz furchtbar. Ist sie nicht. Ich meine, gut, es sind Fehler dabei und es ist aber so, Fehler fallen im Geschriebenen viel stärker auf als im Gesprochenen. Also, ich kenne eindeutig Expats, die schon länger im deutschsprachigen Raum leben und die noch immer ein viel schlechteres Deutsch drauf haben als du. Also mach dich nicht selbst so zur Sau. Okay, and with that, we're finished with the Foreign Followers Ask Party. Let's see when I get to the next milestone, or maybe I will do another one just for the fun of it. Let's see. So, thanks to everyone who sent in questions. I'm sorry if my answers to your specific question wasn't interesting enough. But on the other hand, you've been following me, most of you have been following me for quite a long time, so you know that's how I roll. And see you guys soon.